Hello, my name is Eric Zemelis. I've been designing and building furniture for more than 20 years. I have done everything from high-end, one-of-a-kind pieces to pieces that I've designed that have been built in China and sold through Walmart. Today here at Eric Z Designs, we are going to show you the process of how to build a sculptural metal table. Essentially, it's 4 pieces that are welded together with a patina on the outside. Sounds simple, but there's a little more to it than that to make it come out the way it does. So let's take you along. It should be a fun process, and I hope you enjoy this experience and how to make a piece of furniture. We're going to get some metal here, and I thought I'd take you guys along. This is the second process of how we build a table. We're here at the used metal yard, and I'm going to show you around here. And as you can see, we've got all kinds of metal. And this is the piece we're going to get today. I found it's a nice flat sheet of metal, and we'll be taking that, and that's going to be turning into part of our table. We're ready to start our next step here, which is going to be trimming the metal to the right size. This is my plasma cutter. It is a tool that runs on compressed air, which comes through the back, goes into the tool, has electricity, and between the electricity and the compressed air, it makes an arc which cuts the metal, and then the air blows it out. So I'm going to show you a little bit how that works. Nifty tool, can do almost everything. One of my favorite tools in my tool arsenal. Okay, as you can see here, we now have the form, the side of the table, which we're going to be putting on. And I'm going to cut that for you in just a second. Okay, here we go. Let's start cutting. Well, as you can see here, I have got the pieces clamped together. I put some screws and some bolts to hold it together. The holes I'll weld up when it's done. I've got my favorite tool, which is the 4.5-inch Bosch grinder. I will show you how I start grinding. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind the 2 pieces so they're smooth and together. Put my, it's going to be loud, so hold your ears. I'll put my headphones on. And here we go. I have finished grinding. As you can see, I have made 1 piece out of 2. And there's still 2 separate pieces, as you can see here, there. But now they're all smooth and even. And now I'm ready for the next step, which I need to make it, I need to square up the ends and make it a flat table so it's just flat on the floor. Okay, so here we go, we're going to cut it. I have my line, I got my bandsaw. Good. Let's see here. Voila! My next part is I need to put all of these connectors to hold these 2 spaced apart. Spacers to start the frame of the table. So I've cut them to the right length. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to weld them in place. And after I weld them in place, I'll be able to connect the table, and we're ready to skin it. As you can see, I have now welded the tops together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check it to make sure that it's square and flat, so we're ready to go. But as you can see, it's almost looking like a table now. Our next step is I'll weld these couple of connectors together, and then we start skinning with the metal. As you can see, I have wrestled this in, and I have made the first 2 tacks on the metal. It is hardest the first 2. It'll get easier. And now what I'm going to do is continue to clamp this down. Let me show you how a little bit I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this and clamp it down, making sure we're straight, true. And I'm going to tack it as we go down. Tacking is a small welds all the way up and bending it around, and then it will be on, and then we just have final welding on the bottom to do. I've now got the piece on its side, and if you look carefully, it is stitch welded all the way down, and it kind of looks almost like a table at this point. It's looking pretty good. And now I have the long task of welding all the seams. Okay, we have finished the welding, as you can see. It is now an official looking table with a top and sides. looks a little Frankensteinish right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grind all of these welds down. Should take about, I think it's about an hour grinding to get all done. And then we'll go from there. But here, let's grind. Paper, 36 grit sandpaper, and that'll go on this wheel right here. Spinning at 10,000 RPMs, and then I'm going to just smooth out all the edges and make sure it's all nice. And finally, this is a almost like a Brillo pad kind of thing. This specifically made from leather and makes it really smooth. And that way I can get that super hand finished feel. And it's we have just finished the buffing part of the operation, and I just wanted you to take a look to show you how smooth the edges are and how it doesn't look anything like all those rough pieces of metal that we started out with. Metal is sort of an interesting process, that it starts out so rough and coarse, and it looks like you're never going to be able to turn it into something smooth. But with a little bit of grinding and a little bit of work, it turns into quite a smooth and organic looking copper patina. It's a metal etching, and what I'm going to do is, I've got my gloves on because it'll eat right through your hands, and then I'm going to put some on my thing and rub it, and if you look, it's going to turn copper. So as you can see, the piece is sort of copper colored now. And it only works, you have to keep reapplying it, but it only works on a certain amount. So that is the copper. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm applying the black, and I don't know if you can see it, but after I put it on, it kind of turns a sort of a darker color, and it's going to continue to set or bite into the finish over the next few minutes. And then what I do is I just keep it wet until I get it the color I like, and then I quickly dry it and spray a coat of finish on it when I'm done. And it's always this part's always a little tricky. But if I go too far, I can always sort of brush it off a little bit and kind of come back with it. And it's this part's always kind of exciting. It's sort of you never know quite where it's going to go. Okay, final product, the table. This is always such an interesting transformation to go from ugly flat sheets of steel that we started at the recycling yard to this beautiful finished furniture that looks like it was hand forged by an artisan in some blacksmith shop, but not quite, but kind of gives you kind of an idea of what it looks like. Really happy with the design. I'm happy with the finish of it, and as you can see, it looks like $1 million.